Hey guys, it's Ashley from Benson Archery here. Just want to cover something that we get asked a lot, particularly by new shooters. How do I sight my bow in? It's a pretty simple task with a few basic movements and a little bit of time. It's not something that is difficult at all. So yeah, we're just going to cover that. Starting off, the thing you need to remember is where the arrows hit on the target is where you need to move the sight. So if they're hitting to the left, you need to move your sight to the left. When they're hitting high, move it up. Same with right and low. Starting off, you want to move your first pin. In this case, we have a 3-pin Punisher 3 Trophy Ridge sight here as an example. You want to take your Allen keys, Imperial Allen keys at all times on anything here that we use. American companies always use Imperial. You just want to insert the Allen key into your top pin, just like so. Unlock it just slightly, then slide it up into the top of your sight housing. That there allows you a lot of movement underneath for your second 2 pins. Gives you more room to play basically. From there, we're going to use our gang adjustment, as it's called. So we take a different Allen key, this time the bolt's on the side of the sight. Going to undo that with the right Allen key. Going to undo that, and that just allows us to move the whole sight up and down. That's our first movement. Our second movement is our left and rights. Now this is something you only do at the short distances, because if you're hitting left and right at longer distance, it's actually your rest that you need to move. That's a center shot adjustment, and we'll cover that in another video. So again, taking your Allen key, sticking it in the top Allen key bolt there, cracking it, allows you left and right movements, like so. Again, just to reiterate, that's only at the short distance. So we're going to go, let's say we're going to start at 10 meters to start off with, just so we get it somewhere close. Now most bows these days will shoot flat to 20 yards. For the average archer, that's a pretty good starting point. So we just want to go to 10 yards just to make sure that we're on target. Now you can do this in meters or yards, it's entirely up to you. So depends on what we do. Generally in Australia here we run in meters, so we're going to run in that. We've gone to 10 yards, we've put 4 arrows in the target, aiming at the same single point in the middle of the target, always in the middle of the target, and we're hitting high. So what we want to do is take our Allen key and our sight, insert it into the slot, crack that off, and move our sight up. Now if it's hitting high again, we need to move it up. Lock that back down, go back to your 10 meter mark, shoot again. This time we're fairly close to the center, so we don't want to actually now fine tune that in. We're going to go back to 20 yards. This is where we start fine tuning. We want to make sure at the end of this process that all of our arrows are consistently hitting what we're actually aiming at the distance we're shooting. So again, going back to 20 yards, this time they're actually hitting a bit low. So we're going to take our Allen key, insert it into the key, crack it, and drop our sight until we are hitting the target. Little movements at a time, we don't need to go massive. It does make quite a big difference. So we're now hitting at 20 meters, 20 yards, 20 meters, up to you. This is now where it's entirely on you as to whether you put in 5 meter increments or 10 meter increments. Most bows will shoot 10 meter increments quite happily. However, for some hunting setups with a much heavier arrow, you're shooting a lot slower, a 5 meter increment is a good way to go. This time, we're going back to our pin, so we're not actually touching anything here on the sight. It's all to do with our individual pins from this point. Go to a different sized Allen key. This time, insert, move the sight to a few mils apart. We now go back. So we're going to work on a 30 meter increment or a 10 meter increment for this particular video. So we're going to now take the sight, shot our arrows at 30 meters, we're hitting high again. Going to move, insert, move the pin up. So I've just taken that up, I'm moving it up in the sight housing. Lock it down, go back, shoot again. Just keeping adjusting this up and down, tiny little movements at a time. until we're all hitting at the same place at 30 yards. Repeat the process once again until you finish, fill out your pins, and we're done. Alright, so what we're going to do here with this bit of paper is explain a little bit in more detail so you can actually see what we're talking about when we talk about the arrows hitting off center of where we're looking at. So let's take this little circle here. That's our target. So what we're aiming at 20 meters. You've taken your shots and you've put a 4-shot group up here, for example's sake. So what we want to do is take our gang adjustment, because again, we're at the short distance here. We want to take our gang adjustment and move it up. Alright? This is true for all directions. If it's hitting over here to your left, you want to move the gang adjustment of the sight over to the left. It's very rare for you to have this only vertical or only horizontal adjustment needed to make made. Sometimes you'll get sights and arrows grouping over here to the right and a little bit high. Always want to get them in line first. So first adjustments you want to make is your right adjustment until they're hitting in line with your dot. From that point, you then start making your vertical adjustments. We've gone back, let's call this 20 meters here. We're over here at 30 meters this time. Aim at the same spot that we were before. Now we should, if your center shot is correct or your rest movement left and right is correct, you should only get vertical groups. Let's say up here or down here. This is where you move your pin only. Alright? Don't need to worry about your gang adjustments at all. You're only moving your second pin on your sight for this one. Alright, that's it for this video. If you've got any further questions, by all means, give us a call at the shop or send us an email. Our contact number here is 02 9682 3080, or send us an email via Facebook or info@bensonarchery.com.au. Talk to any of the guys here in the shop. We all know what we're doing. We can certainly give you a hand. Yeah, so drop in store as well. You can always come through the shop. We're located in Granville in Sydney at 164 to 166 Parramatta Road. If you're using a GPS, do put in corner of Bold Street. We get a lot of guys getting thrown up the road. So, excellent.